FM 95.6. I'd like to welcome into the studio now the man who's described as his record company as Britain's favourite singer, Joe McElderry. Thanks very much for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks.
Is that a pretty tall order to live up to there, is it?
Well, I certainly didn't see it. I don't know where it came from, but it sounds nice, so if that's what they want to say, that's fine. No, I just do what I do, and I just try and be the best I can be. I take no notice of all of that kind of stuff.
Well, that's it. That's the blurb. That's what they're talking about. Well, it's great to have you back on the programme.
Thank you for having us.
It's been probably about a year since you've actually been in this very studio, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was this time last year with the Classic album. It was when I was last in.
That's right. You've had a busy year. You had a great Christmas because you had the Christmas album out.
Yes.
And I seem to remember, if I just take my mind back to Christmas, there you were in all those videos with lots of snow around, and it looked really Christmassy. Was that recorded like September or the middle of summer?
It was recorded in the middle. Remember that heat wave in September?
Yeah.
It was recorded then, and it was all fake snow. We had the company that did the James Bond films, all the ice stuff. They all came in and made this winter wonderland in the middle of this stately manor, tinsel up everything, and it was the middle of September. So it was quite surreal, and it was boiling, and they had us dressed in like Christmas jumpers and all these Christmassy things, and I was boiling. So it wasn't as glamorous and Christmassy as it looked.
Well, the effect when we finally got to see it, actually, it looked very Christmassy to me, although you're probably boiling to death under that. You did well with the Christmas album, didn't you?
Yeah, it did. It got really well received. I mean, with the Christmas album, it's quite difficult because, everybody's heard the song, so you never know whether people are going to get the originals or... but everybody seemed to like it, and it was a successful album, so it was nice to do. I kind of felt like I would always have wanted to do that if I hadn't have done it then, so glad I got it out the way. And, I can always release that again, which is pretty cool.
Joe, X Factor is one of those things, obviously, that you were involved in. Is that something now that you just want to get rid of? You just want it in the past, or is it just something that just follows you around all the time?
No, it's not. It's not anything that I ever want to get rid of. It's where I first got my first break. It's where, and it's kind of like it's like a building block. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to go on to the other things. So you can't just take that away and think, right, I'm never going to talk about that again. I'm never going to associate myself with it, because that's not really what I want to do. Yes, I was on the show. I had an amazing experience, and it's all about just building from there now. Building the blocks to establishing myself as an artist away from the show in a positive way, not in a negative way of trying to get rid of it.
And they're running the trails on the TV at the moment,
yes.
And they haven't got you in there.
Oh, I heard about this.
Why is that?
Yeah, just what it is. I think it's just that I'm signed to Universal. I'm not with Psycho, so everybody else that's on the adverts with Psycho. So I imagine it's probably that they just don't want to promote a rival's artist. So, that's fine. I'm happy. I've got a new album out, and I want my album to be my advert, not their advert.
I seem to remember when you and I were here last year, we mentioned Simon Cowell. At least I mentioned Simon Cowell, and you were a bit dismissive of it. I mean, are you dismissive of Simon Cowell today?
I don't think so. I mean, he's irrelevant in my life really now. I don't work for him. He doesn't work for me. So that's kind of the thoughts I have on him. I don't think badly of him. If I seen him at an event, we would chat, we would have a catch up. But that's pretty much where we both stand in each other's lives, I would imagine, in a positive way.
And you took part in Pop Star to Opera Star. That was massive for you at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, huge. I mean, I didn't really know which way it was going to go. I thought I'm either going to get slated to death here for this, or people are really going to take to it and enjoy it. And luckily, the latter happened. People really enjoyed it. So, and it kind of led on to a different curveball of a career, but kind of brought us back to where I am today with like my sound. Which I think without that, I wouldn't have been able to do this next album, because the experience and vocal experience I got from recording the last two albums with the classical training has made us so much stronger as a vocalist.
Do you think you've matured as a vocalist?
Yeah, I think I've matured as a vocalist and a person through the experiences of the last year and a half. And I think from X Factor up till now, I've learned so much about myself and about my career that I've been able to really involve myself creatively in this album and trust my own judgments and decisions now.
Social networking is massive, we all know. And years ago, it used to be just the press you had to deal with. I know that you're on Twitter because you tweet quite regularly. But certain stars now are turning away from social networking. Yeah. There's Zayn from One Direction. He's decided not to be on Twitter anymore. Gary Barlow and his wife obviously have just been through their sadness in their life, and he had all sorts of things that were sent to him on Twitter there as well. How, for you, do you use social networking? Because it's important, you need it, but there are the trolls out there as well. I mean, do you get slated on there?
I'm quite fortunate. I mean, I probably do get slated on it, but I'm quite fortunate that I'm not actually tagged in any of the tweets. That I've never actually typed my name in without my Twitter name and seen what people say, because I'm really not that interested. You know, if people want to follow us and see what I'm up to, then that's great, and my followers are all that I'm interested in. Anybody else on Twitter, I'm not interested, because at the end of the day, everybody's Twitter account and their followers and who you follow, that's your little hub of what I like to call positivity. And anybody else that enters that hub and wants to create a bit of negativity, then they're pretty irrelevant. And I think it's quite sad that people sit behind computers and write really horrible things. It's like, if you really don't like somebody that much, why have you got the time to type in a computer what you think of them, you know? And yeah, people are allowed to have opinions of people, you know, I understand that, and we're in a public arena and on a public platform where people can judge you and have their opinion.
But years ago, it used to be just the press that would possibly have a go at you. Yeah. Now the general public can get at you, and it's visible there as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is quite upsetting. I mean, fortunately, I don't get a lot of it, hate. I mean, I probably do on YouTube and things like that, and Google if you type things in, but I don't get hate directed at my Twitter, and if I do, I try to just totally not even retaliate, because it's not really worth the time of day. But I think it's sad that we live in a society that people feel the need to send abusive messages to people who they don't really even know. You know, it's quite sad.
So how do you use social networking then? What do you
mean, I use it to see what I'm up to, where I am, to interact with people who want to support us and follow what I'm doing. And you know what, that's pretty much what I use it for. And it's like, I put little messages on there, say what I'm up to, little quotes and anecdotes that I like, pictures. I try and create a really positive environment on there, because I see a lot of other people retaliating and writing nasty things and addressing things, and I try and keep my whole timeline and page really positive, because I think it's important.
It's Late Night Graham Torrington, BBC WM 95.6. Joe McElderry is here with me this evening. New album, which is out very, very soon, September the 10th. The album is Here's What I Believe. We'll talk a little bit about the album in a few moments' time, but you're going to actually sing us a song, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to sing you a track off the album, a new song, written by Bell Humble, and it's called To Have a Broken Heart.
Okay, over to you.
People tell me I'm too young to know that I'll get over you. In time I'll let you go, but they don't feel the way I feel right now. If they knew you in the way I did and how you love me, they'd understand this pain is real. No, time won't heal, so this is how it feels to be torn apart. The sky is falling down and I'm lost in the dark. How will I ever get over you? How will I ever get over you? I gotta try, but I'm dying inside, and I don't know where to start. So this is how it feels to have a broken heart. The world looks different now, and I realize I'm not invincible. I'm just another guy who paid the cost. Loved and lost. I wonder where you are. No, I can't stop myself. Keep thinking that maybe you're with someone else. It's killing me. I want to be free. So this is how it feels to be torn apart. The sky is falling down, and I'm lost in the dark. How will I ever get over you? How will I ever get over you? I know I gotta try, but I'm dying inside, and I don't know where to start. So this is how it feels to have a broken heart.
Late Night Graham Torrington, BBC WM 95.6. The album, which that's a track off the album there as well, as I said, it's out in September the 10th. Here's What I Believe. You've had a major input into this album for the first time, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, not for the first time. I have had creative input in the last albums, but like last year was just such a crazy year from beginning to end that I didn't really have time to like nitpick at the creative things, you know, like I didn't have time to really look over everything and really bash everything out and look at it. So last year was probably creatively involved, but not as big as this album. From January, I've literally trawled through songs that have been sent from songwriters, written songs myself.
What's that like, writing a song for yourself?
I loved it. I was very apprehensive at first, if I'm honest, and I didn't really want to do it, and I was kind of forced a little bit by my manager. She was like, please just try it, see what happens. We might never use the track. If you don't like it, we'll delete it so that you've got no recollection of it, but please try, because I really think you'll have something good to say in a song. So I tried it, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I loved it.
So where did you start? Here's your manager going, write some songs.
Yeah.
Where did you start?
She booked this day in the studio with a guy who plays in my band called Jamie, and I knew him previous to X Factor and everything like that, so it was nice to go into a studio with somebody who I knew. Booked a studio in Newcastle, went in, spent the day with him. We came out with this song, and everybody seemed to love it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can do it. And I started to give it a go, really work on it, and then before I knew it, like we were like 3 or 4 songs in that I had written, and I found that I really had a passion for it and loved it, and had stuff that I wanted to write about. So it started to become really natural.
And what's the reaction been from people about the songs?
Everybody seems to really like them. I mean, you know, obviously not everybody's going to like it, but I'm feeling like the general consensus that everybody's happy with the song, right? The label are really happy.
Have you said to people, will you just be honest with me, please?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to. You know, a part of you has to detach yourself from the song, because if you're writing about a personal experience and then you take that song and then somebody goes, well, actually, I don't really think that's very good. It's not personal to you. It's just that on a commercial, the record label on a commercial level, they're just thinking, what's going to sell. So I'm really fortunate that one of my songs is being put forward as the first single, because they might have just said, we'll leave them for album fillers, but they actually really enjoyed it. So I feel.
What does that mean personally to you?
No, I'm over the moon. I am over the moon that it's been chosen as the first single. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing for the first time I've been songwriting to be picked as the main track. I'm overwhelmed by that.
You've worked with some names on this album as well, haven't you? Marcella Detroit, he's just one of them from Shakespeare's Sister. How good was that? How did that come about?
Well, I actually wrote Here's What I Believe with her and Gav Clark from the band Uncle, and we did a writing camp in London, and we were just sitting around having a conversation, chatting, messing around with the guitars, the instruments, and again, came very naturally, started from a conversation about relationships and why did people have to be deceitful and tell lies, and before you knew it, I'm off writing, they were off writing, we combined it all together, and Here's What I Believe arrived.
And when you talk to songwriters, they often say that, you know, they draw on their own life experiences. Is that what you've done?
Yeah, I mean, I draw on experiences of relationships, friendships with people. I get a lot of inspiration from my friends talking about their relationships. You know, it's great to just listen to somebody chat away about a relationship and see the emotion that is put into that, and then listen to what they say and really take things away from that and put them feelings into a song, and that's, I think, how you connect with people.
How's your own love life at the moment?
Desperate. No, I don't really have time for a love life, if I'm honest.
Is that the radio answer, or is that the true answer?
No, it's true. It's truthful. I literally, I'm single, and I genuinely don't have time. It would be nice, but it's
Do you
just
feel that
not,
bit's missing in your life right now?
not missing. I mean, I'm really busy at this point in time in my life. I'm still very young, so it's not really something
How old are you now?
21.
Right.
So it's not something I'm desperately seeking. I'm kind of just in the frame of mind that if it comes along, it comes along, and until then we'll see what happens. But it's difficult because I'm always in a different place, so it is quite. I'm never in one place at the same time.
What can we expect from the album then?
I think you can expect a lot of emotion. It's quite personal. Mid-tempo pop songs, pop ballads, and yeah, just there's a good mix of songs on there, and there's some good stories in the songs with the lyrics, I think.
Now, you've done 1 or 2 gigs over the last 12 months, some private gigs and, gigs all around the place.
Yeah.
Obviously, your fans want to know where you're playing, so are you going to be playing in the Midlands at all?
There's no plans at the minute. I mean, I probably will be back soon. I'm doing 2 album launch shows in Newcastle and London on the 18th and 20th of September to kick off the album, to launch it for when it's out. Then I'll probably, the plan is at the minute, which is subject to change, it's not definite, that I'll go on to early January, February time, and do a tour then, a full tour. But I'm always doing shows here, there and everywhere, and I'm sure we'll have some shows around here before Christmas.
Who are your showbiz fans? Who follows you around?
Oh God,
is Cheryl Coles? Is she still in touch?
She's always supportive. We're always supportive of each other. But I don't know. You'd have to ask people out there if they like my music.
Well, you've come into the BBC today, and there's a huge army of your fans outside. Are these people that follow you around all the time?
Some are, yeah, and some are just the places when you visit each place. But it's always lovely to see them. It's nice to know that you have support out there and people that have got your back. Because at the end of the day, they're the reason that I get to do this. And a lot of this, I do all of this for them as well, because they're the reason that I'm here.
Olympics. It's been a great summer for the Olympics, of course. Are you a sports fan? Were you caught up in the whole Olympic thing?
I was at the opening ceremony, which was incredible, and then I performed in Hyde Park for one of the BT London live gigs.
Right.
Where I went on stage literally 20 seconds after Chris Hoy won the gold medal, which was incredible. The park was filled and everybody was going crazy, and then the screens opened and I went on stage. So that was like a proper party, and I'm actually doing the Olympic torch relays so for the Paralympics, which is going to be really fun.
So are you going to be at the opening ceremony for the Paralympics as well?
I'm going to try. I'll try and get there somehow.
Get yourself an invite somehow. We're going to finish off by playing the new single, which is from the album. So tell us about the single.
The single is called Here's What I Believe, and it's kind of like a ballad, a mid-tempo ballad about just letting somebody know in a relationship that you're not going to put up with the rubbish anymore, and you're kind of realising that you've been treated a bit badly. It's quite a positive breakup song.
Good stuff. Joe McElderry, always good to have you on the show. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you. Cheers.
Tired of hanging on to all the games you play, the lies you